For instance?
For instance, the Palestinians who living in 48 land in Israel, yeah, the best way for them, for the struggle, to struggle against discrimination and racism. Yeah. Maybe in Gaza, the military resistance, it will be useful. Maybe in West Bank, which I believe the West Bank is the best tool for them, it's popular resistance. The Palestinian on diaspora, they have other tools or instruments to use in order to mobilizing the international community.
Like rallies.
Doing some activities, cinema, video,
Printing,
painting, museums, festivals. There is plenty of it. My point of view, it's a tools to achieve a goal. It's not goal itself. And who will decide the best way to achieve the goal? The collective mentality, national mentality of the Palestinians. Suppose all factions sit together and to ask themselves what is the best way to use in order to achieve our rights.
Let me come back to the numbers, please. Do you have any numbers how many orange tree plantations are destroyed around Beit Hanun?
It's still calculated yet, nobody knows, but citrus, orange and etc. Since a long of time it's uprooting from Gaza because the Israelis, before they are implementing this engagement plan, they are encourage strawberry planting and flowers.
Rose?
Yeah, flowers.
Flowers.
Yeah, carnation flower. Why? Because they want to use it for the useful of Agresco, the Israeli export company. So, since a long of time, there is no big amount of citrus, and instead of that, there is some cash crops issues, such as vegetables and fruits and strawberry and carnation flowers. But nobody can estimate how many trees from citrus or olive oil. Olive oil is destroyed, thousands of it. The age of some of it more than 70 years or 100 years. Especially on the agriculture area, on Khaza'a and on Juhr al-Dik, Gaza Valley City. And in Beit Hanun and in Beit Lahia. This is agriculture areas on the border of Gaza. So this olive trees is destroyed totally.
Today I visited a farmer near the Israeli border, and he told me 130, 150 cows were killed by missiles. And no fighters in his farm, and no weapon in his farm.
In this war or aggression or assault, the Israelis targeting civilians and economy and the infrastructure.
Well, why?
Because this war against the Palestinian people.
Well, why against the people? I mean, why not against the armed resistance, the Al-Qassam brigade and other brigades?
Because Israel consider any individual Palestinian, he is enemy. And they consider there is historical struggle and completely contradiction between our standing here in Gaza and in West Bank and their colonialization project. They did that when they are implementing their state after in 48 years. And when they are established their state, they did many massacres against Palestinian civilians and innocent civilians. Deir Yassin, and this part of their methodology. Netanyahu considered his enemy the child. He thought in fascist idea, this child, when he grow up, he will become part of the Al-Qassam brigades, for instance. and he will be enemy for the Israelis and shooting them. They are not distinguished between innocent civilians and army wings.
So it was a war against civilians, and it was a war against civilian infrastructure because they consider every civilian as an enemy, and the existence of a human Palestinian being itself is, in their eyes,
Enemy.
enemy and potential resistance.
Yeah, that's right.
So now let me ask the carpenter whose factory is destroyed, the construction manager whose compound is destroyed, and the farmer whose farm is destroyed. Can they ask for compensation, for money, by the Israeli court in Jerusalem?
My point of view, the Palestinian Authority supposed to ask the international community to request, to put pressure to Israeli government to pay for the compensation. Till now, the Germans pay compensation for the Jews.
Yes, that's right. That's a fact.
That's a fact. Because the Jews, they suffered a lot from the Nazist regime,
Exactly.
the ex-Nazist regime. Saddam Hussein, when he invaded Kuwait, the superpowers such as United States and France and the United Kingdom, they pushing to him and they imposing him to pay from his resource, from the oil, Iraqi oil, the compensation and redundancy for the Kuwaitis, and to pay the cost of the war. Till the end day of his life, he paid. The Israelis always destroy and asking the international community to pay the bill. Who pay the bill of the aggression, for the occupation, for the siege, for the settlement, the international community, in order to maintain and to save Israel. This is complicity. This is part of the conspiracy against Palestinian people. This shows that the international community and the world as a whole don't stand in two equal foot. There is double standard. So I think this is the time, and it's obvious, in this war, on these aggressives and assaults, the Israelis targeting civilians, the infrastructures and the economy, and the social fabric for the Palestinian people. You know? That's why there is now a potential and opportunity to imposing Israeli government to pay for this compensation to the farmers, to the businessmen, to the owners of the factories, to the who demolished their houses, to wounded people, to family of murdered people who were killed. And I think the International Human Rights Investigation Committee is supposed to raise this recommendation in this report. Finally, the Israelis is supposed to pay, and not the international community is supposed to pay the bill of the occupation and the aggression.
All right. But so one
because
thing,
if there is no accountability, there is no there is no accountability holding the Israelis to accountability. They will carry on and they continue for their aggression and for their aggressive and for the occupation. If they realize that there is accountability, responsibility, they will calculate in their mind if they will go forward again for other aggression or not.
or not, yeah.
When Netanyahu calculate if he one a day will carry him to the international criminal court, he calculate. He think if it's useful to go aggression and attacking civilians, Palestinians in Gaza or in the West Bank or building settlement or whatever, or not. But if the international community give him a green light under the slogan and the pretext of self-defense, legally it's not true. Any occupied area, they don't have right for self-defense. When the Israelis withdraw from 67 land and give Palestinians their independent state and give them the chance and the opportunity to control their resources, their water, their land, their borders, and the Palestinians shooting rockets against them, maybe Ban Ki-moon, if he is asking for and saying it's self-defense, maybe it will be accepted. But when the occupation still occupied Palestinian lands and imposing collective punishment, which is the siege, there is no right of self-defense. The right of the self-defense by using any kind of tools, right to the Palestinians who are living under oppression, under occupation, for resistance. The Palestinians supposed to give the green light from the international community for resistance, not the occupied state.
The foreign minister of the Palestinian National Authority, he went to The Hague and filed a complaint, a case, last week. But I heard that some people have doubts what are his intention and how far he will go with that.
They didn't go publicly for that, and I hear that they stop it or freezing it. And we are...
There was a media release, but there was some media reporting about
what
the
about
foreign
what
minister.
Case?
The foreign minister.
About what case? What case?
Regarding this aggression.
Maybe. I didn't. Yeah, I hear that, but I'm not sure if he carry on this case or not.
Yes. People have doubts in the integrity of the foreign minister in pushing this through 100%ly in this international criminal court.
Maybe they are using it as a tool of pressure to Israel. Because Mr. President Abu Mazen, he is hesitating a lot for signing Rome Convention, signing Rome Convention, who established the ICC. But we, as a civil society organization, asking him always, don't hesitate to sign, because you give the criminals an opportunity to overcome their crimes and escape from accountability.